We all knew this was coming, boys. 76 characters. 76 characters. 69 of them are unique, 7 are echoes, and then we're getting Piranha Plant. And still, on top of everything he's already done, Sakurai is giving us 5 DLC fighters created from the ground up. We don't know much, but all that we do know is that this is fully controlled by Nintendo. No third parties get a say. Unless Nintendo wants them, they're not getting in. Every character is being released before the end of February 2020. Old, new, too recent, or even in the future, every character has a shot. These aren't very exclusive boundaries, but still, there aren't any characters that we as a community can confirm. And that's why I decided to make this video expressing my opinions on the 10 most likely candidates for Smash Ultimate DLC. First things first. We're probably getting a new Fire Emblem character. Whether we like it or not, there's a new Fire Emblem game on the horizon. And whether we like it or not, Sakurai's already done this type of thing before. Corn in particular was only really added just to hype up Fire Emblem Fates, as it was coming out just around the same time as he was released. Sakurai has also developed characters before they were even revealed or released, such as Greninja back in Smash 4. And since the final DLC roster is fully determined by Nintendo, third parties have way less of a shot than Nintendo original IPs such as Fire Emblem. And speaking of characters that haven't been released yet, how about a Gen 8 Pokemon? As opposed to Fire Emblem, no one's ever complained about having too many Pokemon in Smash. Few would object to having a new Pokemon added as DLC this time around. Could be starter, or this time around, it could be a legendary for a change. Between starter and legendary though, I have to go with starter because we don't have any grass type representation so far. And going back to what I said earlier, this isn't unprecedented. Sakurai has released characters before their games ever released. And it's no coincidence that the most notable time also happened to be a Pokemon. There seems to be a very strong correlation between which Pokemon are chosen and when their games release. And what better time window is there for Gen 8's release than the time DLC is going on? All this has been happening in the past, but you know what hasn't? Indie representation, which is why we need Shantae. WayForward has teased at Shantae's inclusion in Smash for the longest time, to the point where I was extremely surprised when she wasn't included in the base game. She started on a Nintendo console, has strong connections to Nintendo themselves, and was very highly requested back in Smash 4's DLC ballot. WayForward was very vocal about Shantae's inclusion, and then they just went completely silent. In the absence of direct mention came a ton of hinting. Look up Shantae Smash Ultimate and you'll see all the hinting in the world in a 20-minute video. With Shovel Knight out of the competition, there's no one that can really stop her. Even though WayForward doesn't really have a say in whether Shantae is in Smash or not, that in no way deconfirms her as a DLC character. The only thing I see really going against Shantae's inclusion is that maybe all this hinting isn't actually hinting. It could all be in our minds, like the purple and yellow chairs in that one Smash Direct. Generally, all I have to say about this is don't rule out third parties yet. Speaking of third parties, why not add one of the most highly requested of all time, Sora? Sora has a moveset that almost perfectly, seamlessly translates into Smash. He uses both Magic and the Keyblade, which leaves a lot of open doors for his moveset. He's also been very highly requested throughout a lot of Smash's history. He would please a lot of people, of course, but you all know how Disney works. They're very protective of their own IPs and creations, and Mario not being in Wreck-It Ralph 2 doesn't exactly help Sora's case. Though we may not be seeing Sora this time, there is another very highly requested character that has a very good shot, and that character in question is Geno. Judging by trends so far with which newcomers have been added, it's safe to say that this game aims to please. Ridley and K. Rool were both highly requested throughout Smash's entire history, and Geno's the only one missing from that holy trinity. Also, judging by VergeBen's word, which is pretty much gospel at this point, Square Enix is going to get a representative. And there's no better rep than the most highly requested one in Smash history. The only thing holding him back is his obscurity. He's been in one game and has a supporting role. And the game in question came out decades ago, but when has that ever stopped Sakurai, right? We've all seen Wii Fit Trainer, we've all seen Game & Watch. There's nothing holding Sakurai back. As I said before, VergeBen has never been wrong. Anything he says is pretty much guaranteed to be right at this point. One very questionable character he mentioned was Catalina from Grand Blue Fantasy. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I have no idea who this character is. I didn't even know this game existed. But VergeBen did mention her. He said he'd been hearing rumors of her inclusion. He isn't directly saying that Catalina's gonna be in the game. He's saying he's heard rumors from his reliable sources. If he said it as a guarantee, I would believe it full-heartedly. But he hasn't quite confirmed it yet, so I'm just gonna leave it as possibly. One thing that Vergeben has confirmed at this point is that Minecraft is gonna get some sort of representation, and he's saying that it could be through character. Why do I trust this guy? Yep, you heard me right. Minecraft is getting representation in Smash Ultimate. As stupid as it sounds, this actually does kind of make sense. Smash Bros. Kind of symbolizes more than just Nintendo's success now, rather the most popular and most successful franchises of all time. I sound like an idiot saying this, but you also have a really diverse moveset. Minecraft Steve has become a huge gaming icon, and I really don't know how to feel about that. All I know is that I just don't want him in the game. There is a bright side to having some sort of Minecraft representation in Smash Ultimate. Minecraft is owned by Mojang, which is owned by Microsoft. Microsoft owns Rare, which owns... The Bear and the Bird themselves. Sakurai is one of them since 64, and so is everyone else at this point. Phil Spencer in specific said he would be completely on board with Banjo being added. As for the Minecraft content, why can't Banjo be the character and Minecraft be the stage? Possibilities are endless here. With Nintendo and Microsoft showing really friendly relationships right now, I have no reason to doubt his inclusion. This also fits in very well with the concept of appealing to the fans. I would mark him down as one of our strongest candidates for DLC at this point. Another company that's shown very strong relationships with Nintendo recently is Ubisoft. You all see where I'm going with this, don't you? You all know how much I love Rayman. I made an entire moveset video on him, and the first half of it was pretty much me explaining why I wanted him. Now he's actually looking possible. Just because he was added to Brawlhalla doesn't mean he's counted out quite yet. That's an Ubisoft character in an Ubisoft-owned game. It's like saying Ryu can't be in Smash because he's already in Street Fighter. Ubisoft already has 2 games on the Switch, and both of them are related to Rayman. Yes, those stupid Rabbids came from Rayman. His popularity's up there, his odds are up there, and honestly, my personal bias is way up there as well. Well, everyone knew this one was coming. There's only one character I've wanted as much as Rayman. That character, if you can't tell, is Bandana Waddle Dee. If you would have told me everything about this character, from which games he's in to his importance in each one, but not told me anyone on the rosters in Smash, I would have guessed that he at least would have been in by Smash 4. He's the only playable character in Return to Dreamland that hasn't been introduced into Smash yet, and he's the only original Dream Friend that hasn't been added to the game. He's been in more games than Meta Knight, for God's sake. If there's anyone who deserves to get into Smash, not even just any Kirby rep, any character at all, it's Bandana Waddle Dee. And for everyone who makes the Goomba with the hat argument, checkmate.